My grandfather died in our house on a winter night, and something came for him before the body was cold. We were all there when it happened. My wife, Margaret, my mother, my aunts and cousins. My grandmother sat beside him on a small cot, her hands folded in her lap, as if waiting for instructions. She had always done that. Waited. Even when he was angry. Especially then. He had been a large man once. Broad, loud, impossible to disobey. In our house, his word was scripture. He had forbidden doctors, medicine, even prayers not spoken the proper way. When his breathing turned shallow and wet, no one argued. We were raised not to. The room changed long before he stopped breathing, heavy, as if the walls were leaning in to listen. The fire burned hot, snapping and hissing. Outside, the fields were dark and pressed close to the windows. The house creaked and shifted with the wind, settling around us like a living thing. My grandmother never looked up. When he spoke his last words, they weren't blessings. They weren't apologies. He called her guilty. The clock struck once after that, though no hour was due. I remember it because it made my skin crawl. The sound lingered far too long, like it didn't want to fade. My grandmother finally broke the silence. He drove me to it, she said, her voice low and cracked. Would he have spared an old woman? You know he wouldn't have. You've all seen what he did when anger took him. I stood between him and you every time. No one answered her. We didn't need to. We knew what she meant. We had known for years. He had fallen down the stairs earlier that evening, hard. The sound of bone on wood still rang in my ears, and my grandmother stood at the top of the stairs, her hand over her mouth, staring down at him with a look of horror I will never forget. Margaret gripped my arm. Edward, she whispered, barely moving her lips. Is something wrong with the clock? I looked at it and felt a chill crawl up my spine. The glass reflected my face, pale like I wasn't fully there. I think we should step outside, I told her, just for air. My grandmother shook her head when I asked her to come with us. Not yet, she said. Let me sit with him a little longer. Margaret and I stepped out onto the porch. The cold slapped at us. Our breath came out in white clouds, and she clung to me as if she might float away. Promise me something, she said. Promise you won't become like him. told her, and I meant it. I swear. When we went back inside, the fire surged as if fed fresh wood, though no one had touched it. The room had gone quiet. Even the sobbing stopped. That was when I heard the sound. At first, it was distant, like an animal crying across the fields. Then it sharpened, stretched, became something else entirely. A scream that didn't belong to the living. It passed through the walls, through the fire, through us. My grandmother gasped and collapsed against the cot. My grandfather lay still beneath the blanket, his face finally peaceful. Then the footsteps began. They weren't footsteps exactly. It sounded as if the house itself were shifting, like weight pressing down from above. The air grew so cold, it pinned us in place. I leaned down and whispered into Margaret's hair, "Whatever happens, don't look." She nodded, burying her face against my chest. The fire dimmed, and something entered the room. I didn't see it. I swear I didn't, but I heard it breathe, a deep, hollow sound. Air dragged through broken reeds. Pain flared behind my eyes. My teeth ached. My bones felt too tight inside my skin. Then it spoke. The voice came from everywhere at once. "Who among you has been named?" No one answered. "Who has stolen from me?" My grandmother wailed. "I did," she cried. "Please, I stole from you." There was a long pause. The pressure in the room became unbearable. "You are the accused." "Yes," she sobbed. The wind roared through the house, and the world dropped away beneath my feet. I held Margaret as tightly as I could, pressing her face into me so she couldn't lift her head. "Then look upon me," the voice said. We didn't look. When the fire flared back to life, the room erupted in screams. My grandfather lay exactly as before, but my grandmother was gone. Not dead, gone. Her chair stood empty. No body, no mark on the floor. Nothing to show she had ever been there at all. Later, when the house was quiet again, I opened Margaret's hand. Inside her palm lay the small black stone my grandfather had given me years ago. He used to say it protected him once, long ago, though he never explained how. I don't know if it saved us. I only know that my grandmother answered when something asked a question, and we didn't. And sometimes, late at night, when the house is very still, I close my eyes and remember that emptiness, the feeling of being nowhere at all. And I wonder if it remembers where I live. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. This is Howl's Eve, and remember, you are never alone in the dark.